From the date of the Supreme Court judgment, which was 25th of October 2007, that judgment nullified Omehia, set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal, and removed Omehia from office.
Granted.
By that law, Omehia was not entitled to further benefits and privileges of the office of governor. And that was the case until Governor Ezebunwanyi Somwike became governor of Rivers State. When he became governor of Rivers State, in the second month, he initiated voluntarily, discretionarily, by himself, by his will, unsolicited, with knowledge of that Supreme Court judgment. Because Nyesom Wike was active participator of that case. In fact, he was one of the financiers and sponsors of that case. So he had first-hand knowledge.
You have evidence to this?
Yes, all of them are my friends.
Interesting.
Yes, all of them are my friends. All of them are my friends. And we are all participator in the act that happened. Nyesom Wike was one of the leaders working out the Amechi dispensation, the Amechi interest for him to realize his governorship. So he was never ignorant of the outcome. In fact, he was one of the most informed of the outcome. So with this knowledge, he exercised his discretion and moved the House of Assembly to pass a resolution to recognize Omehia, Sir Celestine Omehia, and accord him his privileges and recognize him as a former governor. Now, that act of the government of Rivers State, knowing the decision of the Supreme Court, negated it and discretionarily recognized Omehia. Under the law, is classified as a grant.
Okay.
What they did to Omehia was a grant on the discretionary will of the government of the day. All those things they did to Omehia were grants. And under the law, grant once given are not retrievable. They are gratuitous. You cannot ask a man to pay you back because the man never solicited. You gave it to him out of your goodwill. And so you cannot approbate and reprobate. And that is where the Rivers State House of Assembly got it wrong. And the government of Rivers State, because they have misunderstood what they did. They were not enabled by any law, neither the Constitution or any law of the state in what they did. So it was a discretionary act of the governor himself, in negation of the Supreme Court judgment, in negation of the extant law in the land. So all that acts of the government of Rivers State to Omehia were gratuitous acts. They were grants given to Omehia. They caused Omehia to benefit what he ought to benefit if he were the right governorship personality of the state within the period. Having done so, the entire act of the government of Rivers State to Omehia is classified under the law as a gratuitous act. As a grant, the government of Rivers State is not entitled to recover it. And it is illegal, unconstitutional, against decided cases of Superior Court of this country to want to recover a grant. There is a case that was just delivered by the Rivers State High Court where somebody saw a lady in Calabar, liked her and approached to marry her. The lady was very beautiful. And on the day of the ceremony, the man gave her a choice land, a property, gave it to the lady, did a deed of conveyance.
Yes.
As long as the sweetness lasted, the love, the affection lasted. So some years later, they lost friendship. They lost interest to continue in the union, in the marriage. And when they came for divorce, the man said he needed his property back. That land, that choice land of multi-million value, he gave the deed to that lady. That day they were dancing in the euphoria of the affection. So the court had to interpret under our law that grant, that gift, under what law is it classified? And the court held that it was a grant, a gratuitous act, and that as a gratuitous act, the person who granted cannot turn around and say, give me back that land I gave you that day. I loved you before, now I love you no more. This is our law. So Rivers State government, having done a gratuitous act, not backed by any extant law, nor the Constitution, negated the decision of the Supreme Court, which were very well to their knowledge, and passed that grant to Omehia, cannot turn around and say, return those grants I gave you. It's illegal.